The biggest problem I had whilst trying to analyze Over the Garden Wall was that I just couldn't figure out what was real and what wasn't. The first time I saw the ending, I was kind of confused. I couldn't quite make heads or tails of it. What exactly is the unknown? Was everything a dream? If it was, then why do we see Quincy's tombstone in the graveyard? Was that unrelated? I don't know. Well, no, I do know. I think. Let me explain. Hello everybody, welcome to YouTube Explained. My name is Vinny as always, and this week we're going to be taking a look at Over the Garden Wall. Over the Garden Wall is an Emmy award-winning miniseries created by Patrick McHale for Cartoon Network. Patrick is also the former writer and creative director on Adventure Time, and this show is based on his short called Tome of the Unknown. The story features two half-brothers, Wirt and Greg, who find themselves lost in a mysterious wood called the Unknown. They seek help from a woodsman and a bluebird named Beatrice. But that's all the boring background story I'm going to do. If you're watching this video, then you've already seen Over the Garden Wall, and if you haven't, just go away. Go watch Over the Garden Wall, then come back, because I'm spoiling everything out here. You're going to miss out on a really cool experience if you don't. Anyway, that's all the warning I'm giving you. Just the Unknown, the place where the children go on their adventure, has been theorized to be the place where people go when they die. It's also been compared to the classic Dante's Inferno by a YouTuber by the name of Trey the Explainer. You know, I really ought to get that word trademarked.
Wish I could say what I really do mean to you.
Whilst there are similarities, it's true. There's similarities with some of the artwork, some of the names are the same from the 14th century poem, but you know, they're hints, that's all they are. They're winks, they're whatever you want them to be. The unknown is much more magical than just some hell people go to. The unknown and the stories surrounding it may take inspiration from Dante's Inferno. Hell, it takes inspiration from fairy tales and folklore and a bunch of different places. But it's a world unto itself. To call this a modern retelling of Dante's Inferno is, in my opinion, misguided and discredits the creator, not to mention it's a gross oversimplification of the story. This show is much more than a simple retelling of an old story. But yes, there are similarities, and it's kind of interesting if you're into that kind of stuff, so I'll leave a link to Trey's video down below. The biggest conundrum and the key to figuring all of this out is the ending of the series. The woodsman was tricked into believing that the soul in the lantern was his daughter's when it was the beast's all along. Wirt sees this, so he saves his brother, and the woodsman finally defies the beast and frees himself from the burden of the lantern. We find out that this whole experience was a shared experience between Greg and Wirt after they had a near-death encounter where they jumped into a lake to avoid being hit by a train. But let's get down to it. What's up with the name of the show, first off? Greg and Wirt don't jump over a garden wall, they jump over a cemetery wall. But I have the answer. Guys and girls and whatever you prefer to be called nowadays. Over the Garden Wall is about Over the Garden Wall. It's about Over the Garden Wall. I mean, come on. Haven't you ever, like, imagined what was over that wall when you were a kid? What's over there? Why can't I go out there? I want to see it. The walls or fences that were in your garden when you were a child clearly defined the space where you were allowed to play and exist. But as a child, whilst you were playing and fighting dragons in the back garden, what was over that wall? Monsters? Witches? Maybe a man made of watermelon? Who knows? It's whatever we wanted it to be. It's whatever we could imagine, and that's what the show's about. The show is about our imaginations. It's about our childlike curiosity. Over the Garden Wall is where our imagination runs wild. That's why the show is filled with wacky characters inspired from fairy tales and folklore. So, Over the Garden Wall is about our imaginations. It's about a childlike curiosity, but I also believe that it taps into another very interesting subject. The collective consciousness of all things. The idea that life has a common origin, that we're all the same. The unknown is just that. The unknown. In the past, such as in ancient Greece, for example, artists believed that inspiration came from above. It came from the gods. It came from something other than us. They believed that they were tapping into something divine, something above humanity. And I have to say, certainly, sometimes it does feel that way. Something snaps, and you have it. You have what you are looking for. And how do you explain it? I don't know. Maybe it's just our brains, or maybe it's something else. Mainstream scientific materialist views will have you believe that when our brain dies, so does our consciousness, so does our soul. As if our brains were generating it. But what if our brains are more like television sets and not generators? What if when the television set gets broken, the signal remains and it comes from somewhere else? I have to admit, I stole that line from Graham Hancock. I love you. This signal originates from the unknown. From a place we are all from a place where we get our dreams and our creative abilities. It is the place where our core human spirit originates, and that's why Greg and Wirt shared in this experience. They both had a close-to-death experience and were sent to the unknown, only to return. And this is why all of the characters and people in the unknown share in this experience as well. Even animals and plants often take the form of living, talking creatures. Quincy Endicott is an example of this. We can clearly see his grave in the tombstone where the boys jump over the wall, yet he exists in the unknown. Assuming that the grave is in fact linked, I believe that the unknown is somewhere that we can all tap into with our imaginations, but it is also the place where our spirit resides. We are given the opportunity to reside in a human body, and then we're sent back to where we all come from, the unknown. Now guys, don't go crazy. Let's explore this, let's look into it, let's look at a few examples from the end of the show. The woodsman is reunited with his daughter. Wait, so she's not dead? No. The beast represents, call me a hippie, but negative energy. He is the physical manifestation of evil, and the woodsman has been his slave for years. Notice how the beast at no point is able to physically interact with any of the characters. He has to rely on the woodsman to keep him alive. He's a leech. He feeds off of human suffering. To put it into the real world, he represents the evil that pushed people like Hitler to do what they did. The woodsman's daughter was gone for all that time because he was tricked by the beast. He was lured in by evil and he was blinded by it. But after he frees himself, he returns to what truly matters and is reunited with his daughter. Now for Beatrice. There's a fly in here. Now for Beatrice. Here she is seen amongst her family. Her mother makes fun of the fact that they were turned into bluebirds, except no, she's not making fun of the fact that they were turned into bluebirds. She's making fun of the fact that Beatrice made up a story where everyone was turned into bluebirds. She calls the food dirt and asks her jokingly if she's gonna turn everyone into bluebirds again. This part of the story was made up by a girl named Beatrice, and thus part of the unknown. Even her dog played a part in the first episode of the show. Notice how this family is obviously from a past time. Now, judging by Beatrice's hair and clothes, we can speculate that they're from the Regency era. The fact that Beatrice played a key part in the unknown along with Greg and Wirt, even though they're from different time periods, represents the transcending nature of the unknown. It unifies us all, alive or dead, past, present. It doesn't matter. In the next part, we see that all the pumpkin people were, well, they were all made up by a cat? A cat thought all that shit up. And that's what I'm talking about with collective consciousness. It unifies all living life. Who are you or I to say that animals don't have a consciousness? Perhaps they are made up of the same life force that all of us are. Their bodies just aren't quite capable of, transmitting that force. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. The point is, that's what the cat symbolizes. Life is life, no matter which form it takes. It's all a part of the unknown. Furthermore, the official soundtrack to the show, which is amazing by the way, draws attention to the main theme. If dreams can't come true, then why not pretend? And The Loveliest Lies of All are both lyrics in the song that refer to our imagination and our human curiosity. Indeed, our dreams cannot always come true. These vivid visions we have in our head aren't real, so as a species we've turned them into stories and works of art. All things inspired by the unknown. Why do we think and feel and love and make believe? Why do we ponder upon our very existence? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to us? We don't know. It's a mystery. It's the mystery of human consciousness. It's the unknown. My name is Vinny, and thank you so much for watching.